There's an actor and writer strike going on, and particularly when it comes to the writers, like I am completely in 100% agreement with them on almost all of the things they're asking for: better salaries, better wages, insurance coverage, pensions, protections from AI, contract lengths. I'm with them on almost everything. The one thing that you guys will know that I'm kind of a little bit iffy on is the issue of residuals. And actually last week, Chris Carr and I got into a little bit with Chris Carr, who is a member of SAG, by the way, got into a really good little debate about the issue of residuals. And that is the topic of today's Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. Listen, if you guys have a question or a topic for the show and you'd like to hear your voice on the show, go ahead and call our Mint Mobile hotline anytime 24/7 at 951-268-4259. Every day we pick out one or two of those that get called in, and today's is about, the issue of residuals. Check it out.
Hi, John and crew. I wanted to kind of point something out. I was watching one of the videos and I saw that you and Chris were kind of debating on residuals, and that you, John, have never received residuals before. But you receive residuals for every view that any of your videos that you've ever created on YouTube gets till the end of time. So I just want to know how you feel about that, because you said you've never gotten residuals before, but you technically get residuals. So I hope you have a good day. Hope it doesn't cause any controversy. Anyway, thank you. Bye.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for calling that in. Okay, look, I want to talk about the issue of residuals here because we've discussed it, but we've never done a topic on it. You know what I mean? It's come up in other discussions, but we've never done a dedicated topic to it. So, and Rob, just to be clear, you and I have not discussed this.
We have not talked
beforehand
about this.
and all this.
And I did not know about this question until just now.
Which
is a fascinating point.
So I want to break this down into two different things, because after the debate, the discussion me and Chris had, and by the way, Chris is so good at articulating, a certain point of view. She's great at that. I love having those discussions with her. I did get a couple of emails from people saying, well, John, you say you don't believe in residuals and stuff like that, but as a YouTuber, you get residuals all the time. I want to make something very, very clear. Okay. I don't get residuals from YouTube, and I'll tell you why. Because I own the videos that I make. I pay for the videos that I make. The staff that helps me make them, I pay them to come in and help me make them. And then when I take the videos that I own, I financed, and I created, and I put them on YouTube, YouTube sells advertising revenue, but that advertising revenue is mine. YouTube gets a residual. I get the ad money for the ads that play on my video. See, it's a little bit different than, say, back in the day. Look at that. Remember a little flashback there. There's the great John Schnepp. In there as well. It's a little bit different than, say, back in the Collider days, because you might be thinking about this. Now, if I was a hired hand, and listen, at AMC and at Collider Video, I was a hired hand, right? I was a hired hand. I was on staff. I did not own these videos. I did not pay for these videos to be created. I didn't own them. I was, for lack of a better thing, I was a writer and a star, a creator, or not a creator, a performer.
Talent. On-screen
right?
talent.
I was on-screen talent. Thank you. Do you think I get any money today from videos that I made at AMC and Collider? No, I don't get any of that money. When people go and watch old AMC videos and watch the Collider videos that I created, I don't get any money from that because I was on-screen talent. I was a hired hand. I did not own the videos. I did not finance the videos. I didn't pay for them. I didn't pay for the staff. The YouTube, in your drawing the comparison, me at Collider would be a more accurate comparison. And as talent, on-screen talent, that the videos didn't belong to me, I don't get residuals. I don't get one penny from those things at all, despite the fact that I wrote them, I created them, I orchestrated them. I was the creative hand that put everything together. I don't get any money from that. And I got no problem with that because I didn't pay for it. So I'm good. But with YouTube videos on my channel or your channel, if you're a YouTube creator, whatever, you own those videos. You produced those videos. You financed the making of those videos, and they actually belong to you. And any ads that YouTube puts on those, that's your ad revenue, not YouTube's. They don't own the video, that belongs to you. So there is a very large, massive chasm of a difference between, like say when Rob and I would appear on Collider Heroes, because we were both being financed and paid by Collider, versus Rob's Robservation YouTube channel. Those videos belong to him. The John Campea YouTube channel, these videos belong to me. I paid for them and I do not get a residual. I get my ad revenue. So that is a very, very different set of situations. Very, very different. Now, that being said, I mentioned in my discussion with Chris that despite the fact that I am in total agreement on almost every single thing that the writers are asking for, the protections they're asking for, better wages, all that kind of stuff. I'm 100% all for that. I believe actors, not big stars, but regular actors and writers should get paid more, all that kind of stuff. That I do philosophically have a problem with residuals. And it's come up a couple of times on the channel. And I thought I'd just take a second here to articulate what my issues are. And the reason I specifically didn't want to talk to Rob beforehand is because then I'd like to get Rob's perspective and take on it. Because not only is Rob a pundit, Rob, don't forget, is a writer, producer, director, creator, all that kind of, he's
Script
worked
reader.
this, what's that?
Script reader.
I don't know why, but I thought I heard, I'm not going to say what I thought I heard you say, but a script reader and everything. So I'm going to want to get his perspective on this. But here's the thing, the idea of residuals that I have a fundamental problem with is it creates a caste system that says writers and actors are better than everybody else. Because all work, everything we do, every job that gets done, you are a person with a particular set of talents and gifts that you're good at. And hopefully you're employed in an area where you get to use your talents and gifts in exchange for a salary, in exchange for revenue, in exchange for income. And then once you've done your job and you've been paid for your job, that relationship no longer has tendrils, right? There's nothing else connecting it. You do the job, you get paid for the job, and that's that. Somebody who's a gifted auto mechanic may work at keeping Amazon's delivery trucks up and running. Without that mechanic, those trucks cannot drive and deliver, and Amazon makes no money if those delivery trucks do not run and get to their spot. But the mechanic who uses his unique skills and abilities to keep those trucks on the road does not get a cut of the items being delivered. They get paid for their work and hopefully, fingers crossed, paid well. But once they fix the truck, however much money that truck generates for Amazon gets them no more revenue. And neither does your job. Neither does mine. Whether I've worked in law, listen, I've worked in a law firm where my relationship with certain people brought a lot of business into the firm. Once I left the firm, I didn't get any residuals from those people still coming to that law firm. I didn't get any residuals. I got paid for my time and I got paid for my work. And now I had to go get another job or another gig to continue to apply my trade and get paid, or I don't. It's the same of all of us. All of us are in that same boat. Actors and writers are no different. There is a job that needs to be done that an employer, in this case studios or producers, that they need fulfilled. Whether it's somebody playing a role, somebody to write a script, and there's people uniquely skilled to do that. They come in, they give their time and their talents, and they get a paycheck. The latest AMPTP offer to the WGA suggested that the average room writer for a TV series was going to make $90,000 for 2 months of work. $220,000 for 6 months of work. I just want to point out that the writers are going to get paid more than what the average American makes in a year. Writers are going to get paid more. An average writer in a standard television writing room is going to get paid more in 2 months than the average American will be making in an entire year. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I think they do. I think they 100% deserve it. I even think they deserve more, to be honest with you, for the work that they do. But that's the case here. Visual effects artists who work, while an actor may show up to a set for 2 months, work on set for a couple of months. We've been talking a lot about visual effects artists and their struggles lately. We talked about some Marvel visual effects artists that literally had to work 16 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4, 5, 6, 7 month stretches at a time. And their work with the magnificent visual effects we see on screen, take Thanos, for example, those visual effects artists do not get residuals. They get paid for their work. They get paid for their time. Not enough, but they do. But they don't get paid a residual. And I have a lot of friends who are in SAG and the WGA, some of our mutual friends, Rob, that every once in a while when this comes up, they do not hesitate to text me to try to put me on my place about why I should believe residual. But honestly, whenever I've asked the question, why should a writer or an actor get more when everybody else in the world does not? And it usually, the answer kind of comes out to either because we as writers and actors are special, or we as actors and writers are better than you. They'll never word it like that, but that ultimately is kind of what it comes down to. And again, while I believe in everything else that they are asking for, better wages, better security, better pensions, better insurance coverage, protections from AI, length of contracts, all of it, I'm in full support of, say, the WGA and all of it. I just have this philosophical issue with residuals. And by the way, it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. It's something that I could be convinced of and maybe have my mind changed over the next while. I'm not firmly convicted of this belief. You know what I mean? It's just kind of what I think. And I've had a lot of people shouting at me, telling me just to keep that opinion to myself. But no, fuck you. It's what I think. And my mind could be changed. But that's kind of how I see it. That's what I believe. And guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell. Sure, it looks like fun at first. They probably even threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. You guys know before I came to Mint Mobile, I was paying triple what I am paying now on the standard big wireless plan, and I will never go back. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. I'm not out there, Rob, anti-picketing, saying you don't deserve residuals. I'm not. Hey, you get what you negotiate, right? Is what you always say. So anyway, Rob, the issue of residuals. You've heard kind of my outlier viewpoint on it. How do you see it? How do you feel about it? I don't know. What's your take on it?
Well, the idea of residuals for television, for instance, was created in the 50s. And that was when television was paid for by sponsors. And if what the front and center were the stories being told or the scripts that were being written and the actors that were in front of the camera. So basically it was profit participation. If a show had a big audience and the sponsors paid more money because the show delivered more eyeballs on whatever product that they were selling.
And more eyeballs equaled more money at that time.
And that it was a very simple thing. And they said, okay, the people are tuning into this show because of the story being told and the people playing the characters. That was a big deal. And you got 5 residuals back in the 50s. That was it. You got 5 payments on a sliding scale. But now, and those shows were entirely paid for by the sponsors. Every show had to have a sponsor in order to even get made. Now that's completely changed. And for a streaming show on Apple, Amazon, or Netflix, they don't know how many people are going to watch it. They have to pay for the show. Like the company's paying for the show. There is no, with Amazon and with Apple, there is no sponsorship. The only money that they're seeing for Apple, it's people that have their products that get Apple TV or whatever. And for Amazon, you have to sign up for Amazon Prime. That's it. And Amazon Prime is not to get the programming, it's to get all the services, all your shipping for Amazon products. So the very idea of where this money and residuals came from in the first place has changed. The network TV model hasn't, but that's dying. So I think, like you said, I think the writers, we need We need longer time in the writers' rooms. We need writers' assistants to be there so they can become the new wave of writers. They need to get paid more and all this. But the business has changed entirely. And all deals moving forward have to be commensurate to those changes. And I feel like they're arguing for old models of doing things in a industry that is undergoing massive sea changes. And I think that the WGA and SAG, they're always behind the times. And I feel that they should get ahead of all of this 5 years, 10 years down the line. I mean, you've got people whose voices can be digitally recreated. You have musicians who now people are using, they're creating songs that the Grammys say can compete for a Grammy Award because you've digitally recreated someone's Drake. You've digitally recreated his voice, even though he didn't record on your track, but that track's available or eligible to win an Emmy, or pardon me, a Grammy. It's crazy what's going on now. And I feel that the idea of residuals is an idea that is 70 years old that needs to be reassessed. I mean, since we're talking specifically about residuals, because residuals don't really apply to 3 of the big, now call them studios. You know, I mean, we got the networks, but those are studios as well. Amazon, Netflix, and Apple. Their business model is not what residuals come from or have anything really to do with. And yet that's part of the problem that this strike is happening.
Yeah. And again, one of my other problems with the issues of residuals is that you create a situation where you have people who stand to make more profit if something succeeds, but do not stand to lose money if the project fails. So like, let's say, Rob, you finance a movie about, I don't know, toy collecting, right? Well, you're taking all the risk.
Right.
If the movie fails, you lose all your money. You
Yes.
lose millions of dollars. You lose. Therefore, if the movie does better than expected, you should be the one that gets the extra profit from it because you're the only one who put your actual money at risk. See, that's why it's a little bit different. See, I'm more in favor of like the Alec Guinness or Robert Downey Jr. model, where like Alec Guinness, famously playing Ben Kenobi in Star Wars, and Robert Downey Jr. when he started playing Iron Man, he took less money than what he thought he was worth, right? So he was like, he thought I should have gotten X millions of dollars, but I'll take less. So he's actually risking that millions of dollars that he could have asked for. I'll take less money, but I'll take points on the movie. So I'm taking a risk. Robert Downey took a risk. He said, I'm risking losing out on half the money I would normally ask for and get. But if the movie works, I get a windfall because I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a gamble. I'm rolling the dice that I believe this project will succeed. So if Avengers and the MCU flopped, Robert Downey Jr. would have been out millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But because it was so successful, he made stupid amounts of money. See, I'm more all for that sort of thing. Like if a writer or an actor wants to say, tell you what, I'll take half the regular rate if I can get points on the back end. So if the thing fails, I lose money. If it succeeds, I make money. But no one's going to go for that. No one's going to agree to that.
Jack Nicholson in Batman.
That's right. Yeah, he did the same thing.
And same thing. And I anyone who's not been in the position to actually produce a project, I think doesn't quite understand that. And you produce films. I produce films.
You produce films that have been in movie theaters.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm working on. It's funny. I'm working on a project now where I got a contract offer today, and I'm thinking about this very thing about how to make this fair for a particular actor. And it's like, okay, and they've agreed to be a part of it. They're willing to risk, just like you said, take a little less money up front to be a part of the project, which is great. And I think that at the end of the day, that's how people should get rewarded. And I do believe that in this day and age, John, the writers especially should get paid more up front.
100%. Like I believe, considering the size of some of these projects, that's the one thing I want to make sure doesn't get lost in this. I think the non-superstar actors and the writers, they need to get better salaries. They need to get more money up front, considering what it is they're creating for these. I may not believe in residuals, but I do believe in them getting more money, like 100%.
Well, and also the thing is the residuals now, network TV still is an ad-based model. So network television does have sponsors, so you can still get residuals from that. But when someone complains, and there was an op-ed in the LA Times that when Suits goes on to Netflix and makes people watching billions of hours of it, well, Netflix isn't exactly making more money from that. They licensed Suits out to put on their network. So they paid Universal. And whatever your deal was, whatever you negotiated 15 years later, whatever piece that they made on that money that Universal made, then you get what you deserve.
Sorry. So I just got a text message because we're doing today's show live. We don't normally do them live, but we're doing today's show live. I just got a text message from our mutual friend Kevin Rubio, who is part of this,
part of the WGA,
of the WGA, and he just wrote to me. But John, we as writers are special, and we are better than you.
There you go.
Kevin's awesome.
Kevin made the great Star Wars fan film Troops and wrote Tag and Bink.
For
Dark Horse, now Marvel.
Yeah, like super guy.
Funniest Star Wars thing ever.
Tag and Bink
stays in canon.
Yeah. Now listen, again, I want to emphasize here, I don't hold big convictions on this. It's just a point of view that I don't hear anybody expressing. And I'm never been one to shy away from saying something just because it's the unpopular position. It's just that I don't know. I just have some philosophical issues with it.
Well, and also the difference in terms of the writer's strike as opposed to the one, 15 years ago, 2008? Was it?
Yeah.
So there wasn't an Amazon, there wasn't a Netflix, and there wasn't an Apple.
Yeah.
So these new business models
at
didn't
least not
exist.
Apple TV.
At least, you're right, at least not Apple TV. And now you've got the studios that are still doing the work that they've been doing for 70 years, and then these new players that aren't. So it's hard to negotiate. It's very difficult to navigate this Byzantine way of getting paid.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.